here, which means one thing. We are watching some more Frieren. Of course, a story which I really can't get enough of. The characters themselves are entertaining, the world itself is being slowly fleshed out, and the more I see of it, the more I appreciate the subtle nature and yet the drastic dangers around every corner. But after some birthday plans, what are we going to be seeing in this episode? Maybe some more villages that were protected under the safety of the hero before, because I would like to see some more flashbacks. Every time we do, Frieren gets a little more emotional. We get to see a bit more of her understanding of what things actually meant. Good thing time isn't of the matter, really. Get a drink, let's begin. The more that I see Frieren, my initial assessment from how the show started hasn't really changed. I love how it's kind of slow and retreading steps and nothing really seems too extravagant. Sure, you've ran into the demons and had to liberate a town or two. But the main danger on the entire world, the Demon King being taken out 80 years ago. And we're living in a relative era of peace. I do like that. That slant it's taking. And also, we've seen that there's so much that Frieren does that is habits and not picked up from others or based on their words, and she's taken it to heart. So what else is she going to learn from here on in? And hopefully this isn't like the past with the carriage that was taken off by the giant bird. She doesn't seem too annoyed that she made a drop a book, or grimoire. Yeah, he was a rather late joiner. There's quite a few things this party lacks, but are we talking about combat capabilities or mimics? She's not helping at all there, just watching her get munched on. An older woman, perhaps? I mean, they may need to oblige to his wishes before he goes insane. Maybe in age, but not in aesthetics. Distract him with the idea of a village approaching. Everyone's far too tired. Must have had a long night last night. And yet the animals seem unaffected, but it also was like instant. Carrying bread and apples and the like, going out to feed the livestock. Is it different than spells? Yeah, we have some petrification. Cool. Right, so curses are just what we haven't learned about yet, kind of thing. So it's unknown magic. she herself, or what priests know, is different. He has to have a thorough diagnosis of them. And how long have they been out? Because the woman on the ground there, everything looked fairly fresh. Something that she can't, can't understand, can't reverse engineer. It's not that fun. I hope they find out what actually is the originator of this sleeping curse, because if they get affected by it, there we go. Is that why Fern was slightly sleepy on the journey in? Well, looks like we're off exterminating again. Oh no. Now, is he asleep, or is this Stark trying to get out of combat? Is the way to get him awake a swift kick in the balls? You can't exactly just leave him behind. I mean, she might just be tired rather than falling under the curse, but they are succumbing. They can't carry them around as easily now there's two of them. But how's Fern going to feel when she wakes up and sees Stark so close to her? Is 5 seconds long enough? What are we actually facing? Do they have an idea of what the actual creature might be? But I like these noises out here in the forest. Slightly different shade of green there, not quite a bit more verdant. Well, looks like we're gonna need some weed killer. So that's why it's so shiny. Is it resistant? That's what the mirror sheen is. Now, can you feint and bluff a plant? Trying to get round it that way. But the first real challenge is being faced with when it comes to being part of the party, and he's facing it alone. But Frieren is known for taking her time to do things, but she's pretty quick on the updraw. The fact that him and his friend both received some lessons from Hater. Just believe in one another. If it wasn't 5 seconds, then maybe I'd have a little more hope. But I wouldn't think that she went into this unknowing anything. Already awakened and up. Effective, and I really like the music. Doesn't mean you can go back to sleep, though. But it does explain why they fell asleep in that order. Stark doesn't exactly have a large mana pool. Fern kind of does, but nowhere near the level of Frieren. He wants to stay. Her ability to think on her feet and actually see shit there. She's exceptional. What a day he's had. Alcest. Are they going to have to take on various menial tasks in order to get some coinage? Yeah, we can sell him. It's fine. How much are you offering? Yeah, I'd be slightly concerned and confused as well. So, as long as it stayed within the family, the mention in the name. So anything that involves him also involves the party, but yes, actually. Deal. They can find other ways of making some money. Money solves everything, apparently. Even selling your friends. Oh, that would explain the slightly similar shade of hair colour and the like. Ah. We've seen... Oh, you can explain the scar. I'm guessing the son went missing or fell in battle or something. Yeah, okay. So he was to play the part. So no one knows. That's some actually nice animated walking, especially from the back. So you can't have some panic or letting the outside know that there's a weakness in the family. And then they can move on. Looks like we have reached the end of negotiations. So it only helps with the story if he has been away for so long. So please sell your body to this this noble man. Such a good teacher. We need some more reliable butler types. Plus, I think being able to actually sleep in a nice bed like that is probably better than being out on the road all the time. I mean, he's definitely walking like a nobleman and with proper etiquette. It was only for about 4 seconds, but he managed to hold some composure. I mean, get into the habit of it, you don't know who's around. Then what happened to the double? Oh, okay. Hopefully he can deal with the grief and actually accept what happened after this is said and done. Another son. Considering they were both lineages are from the village of warriors, is he going to impart some training on him there? He's used to a more wieldy weapon than this, but also is it a different kind of teaching than what he endured before? And how he responds here will affect a lot about what he thinks of his character. He doesn't have the natural talent, but he tries hard. Huh? He was too kind on the boy. Going from one that never received any praise. Will she be attending the soiree? Throw her under the bus. Nah, you can go. do feel, I think Fern might be slightly more suited to that life than Frieren. They would have far more trouble actually getting her to fall in line with the etiquette teaching. I hate shit like this. The thought of having to have your guard up constantly and living in this hoity-toity kind of false airs and the like. Put everything that they've learned to use, actually. Is this going to change her opinion of him, even for a short while? They've garnered a little bit of an audience as well. Is she seeing him in a new light? Once this is all over, is he going to keep anything that he's learned here? And they're actually enjoying it. How much time and effort did they put into this? The animation for the dancing was pretty smooth. She has priorities. And it would have been him, not his son. This wound, though. Is this going to mean a lot more to Stark than it possibly should, because he's acting as his son and he has certain resemblances to ones that never gave him any sort of compliment before? So if... Oh no, we know that, yeah. It was completely ransacked. And then it was too late to make things right again. It wouldn't be right on either of them. At least this could be a stopover when need be. Would always be somewhat welcome if they needed to come back. Yeah, Garvin's been stood there all day. Think about his poor. Think about his poor feet. He's he's been on his been standing there for so long. He's actually a decent father, even if there is ups and downs and troubles. I wonder if there was a reason why she picked that book out of anything, but this was a difficult tale The fact that, we've got someone who's lost their son in such a manner, and then having to put up the pretenses for how it looks to the outside world, not being able to shed a tear or anything. Sure, now that he's shown his face by that soiree, he can say, "Oh, my son has gone on an adventure." Trying to bring some honour to his name. Or he can actually be straight with everyone and say, "Yeah, he died. There are complications." All we know is that with that one that he loves so much now gone, this Morty's got some shoes to fill. Can't be complacent anymore. But with that father there showing him patience and love, and being somewhat committed to him, things should turn out alright. It was not something that Stark ever experienced, at least from no one except his brother. I think that was a big moment for them both, and the fact that they both come to the understanding that, I can't replace your son, and I can't be the father that you didn't have. They both knew this was temporary, and what they needed out of it, and what they lacked before. But the party still needs an older woman, apparently. You can't leave the priest's cries unheeded. He will go insane if not. I mean, especially after he did so well in the village and waking them all up. Who or what is coming next, really? The 3 months or so that we've now just taken out of their journey to spend learning how to dance and walk straight. Granted, Stark probably needed a little bit of that to rein him in slightly after running away from the warrior village from early age and being picked up by Eisen. This episode had a lot of what I love about this series. A bit more about the world, its inhabitants, the flora and fauna, the wider world. We now see there is this upper crust nobility and the usual bullshittery that comes with it, the dances and pretenses, with a nice battering of the party getting to know each other a little bit better, rely on each other a little bit more, and some funny bits. Wish we could see more of the mimic and how much Frieren falls into its traps. But it does seem like the mimics themselves don't pose that much of a problem. The fact that she's like, "Oh yeah, but with the risk of being eaten, the potential of a treasure chest is just too great to let go." They do need a thief or something, or at least just to be a little more observant. I mean, just like Frieren took her time to open up to the hero, to understand him, granted it took until way past his death for things to actually start clicking, Fern is seeing some potential in Stark. I'm still not sure what it is that she sees, but there may be some potential. There are flashes, there are moments where he really stands out and does something quite impressive. Or should I say, quite impressive for him. And now that they've had this stop-off in this place and had to big party. Frieren has had a cake. Now we're continuing on to the destination of Oishurst. What is actually going to confront them there, though? We're ever so slowly approaching the destination, trying to get close to this heaven, see what actually is at the end of this journey, but much like what Stark said there, he has so many stories that he wants to go and tell his master after this is said and done. So the journey really is the main focus of all of this. And let's be honest, the priest needs a few tails under his belt as well. He's only had this plant one to go off so far. But putting your trust into one another, exactly what you need to be an adventurer. He learned that today. Granted, Frieren probably isn't the best example to go off. She's a bit of an enigma when it comes to actual good teamwork and camaraderie. But I want to see more. Hopefully you do as well. If you enjoyed this episode, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. But for now, give yourselves a bit of rest. I'm not learning to dance, but I hope to see you in the next one.